Welcome to Coin Times with Maria Matic. Everyone is talking about the new privacy coin Grin. So what is Grin and why there's so much fuss about it? It was a long-awaited community coin. It's being developed for almost 3 years, but unfortunately it launched as a flop for the investors on January 15. It lost 98% of its value in the first 24 hours, plus its trading volume was larger than its total supply in the first few hours, as noted by One, the founding partner of Primitive Ventures. Dovi's explanation was that some exchanges started trading Grin before it was even minted. So how is it possible? Well, according to Dovi, centralized exchanges are a kind of black box, since basically no one knows whether their internal book can really sync on-chain. She also warned that it's possible for centralized exchanges to print out fake bitcoins. The incentive could be to print more bitcoins while shorting it at the same time and getting real bitcoins from transaction fees at no cost. So yeah, all the more reasons to cheer for decentralized exchanges. So, was this the only reason Grin lost 98% in just 24 hours of trading? Well, no. Even though the tech side of the projects seemed to be strong and well, the economic side, well, at least to me, hasn't been thought out properly. The major issue with Grin is its emission curve. The first 4 years on the emission curve are very steep and similar to Bitcoin's emission curve in the same period. They claim it's even more similar to Ethereum and the most similar to gold in the last 40 years, although I fail to see this comparison to gold. It doesn't have a capped supply, and additional yearly supply will be 100% in the first year, 50% in the second, etc. So it's very, very high compared to Bitcoin's annual inflation rate, which stands at 3.83% and will be 1.8% after the halving. Plus, Bitcoin's total supply is capped to $21 million, 21 million units. And according to Marcus Swin, Grin's inflation rate may discourage hoarding, improving its distribution, and this disincentivizes whales who otherwise have huge amounts of control over the price of an asset and downplay speculative bubbles and price swings. In other words, it won't be profitable to hold this coin, even according to their developers. According to them, its qualities are better utilized as a medium of exchange rather than store of value. They are considering themselves and the project an alternative monetary policy experiment compared to Bitcoin. So, however, according to Marcus Swin, the value of the project will come from allowing other cryptocurrencies to be added to Grin later on via soft fork. These assets will apparently add very little to the chain size, make all other assets like native Grin token more private, and can be embraced or ignored as one wishes without compromising any other asset, Grin or some other, on the chain. So Grin seems as some kind of experimental currency and much more inflationary compared to Bitcoin's model, even though it doesn't look so interesting from the investment point of view. Their tech seems kind of interesting. The aim of Grin was to solve Bitcoin's privacy and scalability issues. Grin is private because it shows no addresses and no amounts, and it's thus more scalable as it stores less info. It requires less storage than other cryptocurrencies. It works on a so-called MimbleWimble protocol, meaning it's private by default blockchain, and uses a battle-tested elliptic curve cryptography. And if it would have the same number of transactions as Bitcoin, it would need to store just 10% of the data which Bitcoin now stores, for example, which implies that it could be much more scalable and faster than Bitcoin. And it's also it's also really fungible, more fungible, I mean really fungible, unlike Bitcoin. And this is an ASIC resistant proof of work coin, and apparently you can mine it with your laptop at the moment. However, I've heard some stories that venture capital invested more than $100 million in hardware for mining Grin. So not sure if this is true though. The founder of Grin is anonymous, and the development was done by the community, and it seems to be supported by some really cool people as well. However, if the story about the 100 million invested in is true, it certainly means that some heavyweights are behind or have supported this project. I mean, plus all the media talking about it certainly doesn't come by accident, and you don't see every day this much hardware invested in a community project. On the other side, lots of hash rate means better security, so this could be a good thing if that hardware is not centralized, and if it stays focused on this coin, yeah, that would be the case. However, with this tricky monetary policy and the falling price due to oversupply, for me it's a bit difficult to see how Grin will be profitable to mine in the first couple of years. In other words, it's maybe unsustainable if they don't tackle this issue or raise the demand for it somehow to follow the inflation. Do you have other opinion on this? If you have, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for staying with me. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye.